So here, so here's the part that where all of that work really pays off. We've workshopped this thing through the paper pattern. We've workshopped it through the muslin. We found out where all the things worked. We found out where the things didn't work. We made our adjustments. And now we're at the stage where all we have to do is follow through what we learned. And so here we see us putting all the little details in that we learned all along the way. So now when you watch this develop, you can see it being done with kind of expert accuracy because we've done it before. We've gone through the process. We've practiced a while, and now we can actually do it in a way that isn't mangled. It looks intentional, and it looks quite sharp and professional. It's so exact, all these little angles, and if you get these angles wrong a little bit, like say for instance, if I get this angle wrong and this doesn't fold exactly over these guys here, then when I sew the stitch work around here, it won't be centered. So I've got to make sure that the lining is pulling on this absolutely the way I designed it. Every millimeter it matters at this point. So when I mark this with chalk, I'm actually, when I go in to sew it, I can see where the lines are and sew exactly along those lines. So now you can see here why it was so important that I marked everything, because you can see how the lining follows exactly the shape of the outside. And you also see how the lining is about 1/2 inch longer here. The reason for that is to give you bending room inside the lining so that it doesn't pull in any weird way. So you see when you match this part up, you can see that there's a little extra room in there, and we want that. So you can see how this looks now. You can see I'm going to pull it up here so you can see what that looks like with the lining. And you can see what that's doing. And again, because I drew out those lines, and let me show you. We turn it a little inside out. You can see where I drew those lines. I had to make sure that I turned these corners exactly at the right spot. Because if I didn't turn here at the exact right spot, this would not have aligned perfectly. And this would not have aligned perfectly. And then when we put the linings together, which would be here and here, when we put these linings together, unless those things were falling exactly where we needed them to, these guys wouldn't align properly. So that's why it's so important. And when I put those lines in there, it's literally teaching me, training me how to assemble it, what to look for when I get to those respective spots. Now I think that when people are in production, they don't have to do that. They don't have those reminders, and it's part of being professional. They just know where to sew. but that's not what we're doing here. We're not in mass production. We won't make a whole lot of these. And so what ends up happening is that we haven't done it hundreds and hundreds of times. And because you haven't done it hundreds and hundreds of times, you may not catch these little nuances. And when you don't catch these nuances, it looks particularly unprofessional and unfinished. As opposed to how this looks. When this guy comes across like that, it's just really gonna look polished, and it's really gonna look like it, every piece and every section belongs there. Leather can't be ironed, so we have to put contact cement on both sides and then press it down so that the seams lay flat.